Good morning. Happy Thursday. Today's chat is just more about what is cheap versus good value for money. Often what is the cheapest does not always represent the best value for money, as you probably well know. So today I'm really excited to say, I'm just going to say quickly, that the portal that I'm using through Martin & Co. as a freelancer, as you know, I'm using Martin & Co.'s portal. Yay, it's really exciting. We're the leading agent for sales this year. So this graph is taken off Rightmove, so it can't be manipulated. It's every price range in a Winchester postcode from 0 to say 2 million, I think I put in there. Martin & Co. has outsold every other agent. Well, we've sold 4 and all the other 4 leading other agents have sold 1 each. Oh, there you go. So I went back another couple of weeks. So I then took it from the 20th of December and we still outsold the other agents. We were at 5 and the nearest leading agent is at 4. So, and the others had a few in between. So really happy days. All that glitters is not gold. I just wanted to say this to you because what doesn't appear on here are any online agents. So your Purple Bricks and your any other, I don't want to actually name them all because that would be a bit petty, but they're not appearing on here. So they're not really selling. The problem with your online agents is that they're cheap, but they don't have a database. They don't have the ability to pick up a phone. I'm looking for my phone, but of course I'm talking on it. But they don't have the ability to pick up a phone and speak to a buyer and tell them about your property. The last 3 properties I've sold this week, I've sold 5 or 6 this week, but the last 3, the owners on each of them said, I don't think anyone else would have sold those, and thank you very much indeed for what you did. All that glitters is not gold. Let's go to something like I'm very fond of, which is chocolate. If you go cheap, you can buy an own label chocolate. There you go. I cook with this. I make amazing brownies actually, but I cook with this. But if I want to nibble at something, I don't eat cheap. I spend money. This is Charbonnel & Walker chocolates. By the way, might be expensive, but did you know if you rang Charbonnel & Walker, their head office, they will make you up a box of chocolates of just the centres you want. So you don't waste money with the chocolate creams at the bottom that nobody eats. Talking about chocolate creams. I do love a Heroes, by the way. But left around in the bottom of my Heroes box are all of these because the favourite ones have been eaten. Does this make this good value for money? Or not? Because most of those aren't going to be eaten. I have another couple of value for money things, which is, I know I'll go on a bit, but I do quite like it. Jumpers. Sam's jumper again. I'm raiding his wardrobe this week. John Lewis, really good value. It washes well. And it holds its own. It's quite expensive. Actually, it's cashmere, but it's still quite expensive. Do you buy a John Lewis jumper because you know it's going to hold its own? Or do you go to Primark? They all look the same on day one, but will they actually wash and wear? Or do they perhaps fall apart after 5 or 6 washes? Or do they hold their own? And my final one, which I used to use quite a lot on my analogies, is shepherd's pie. If you buy a shepherd's pie, do you go for a, hate to use the label, but please don't shoot the messenger. Do you go for a supermarket own label value range, which is a little bit grey, stick it in the oven, 30 seconds, still shepherd's pie, but would you eat it? Or do you spend a bit more for, say, another supermarket one where you get the finest label and it tastes really nice and you eat every little scrap? Value for money versus what you actually want to eat. That's kind of what I want to say. I'm going to take that a little bit further from estate agents into the other things that you use when you're buying a property. Do you spend money on your solicitors? You should do. There's a big difference between using a conveyancing house out in the middle of nowhere, perhaps, who are really cheap, or using your good high street solicitor with accountability. Now, I tend to use a lot Dutton Gregory, Stillwells, Shentons, Trethowens, Phillips at the moment are doing something for me personally. I use solicitors that I can pick up a phone and have a chat with. The conveyancing houses would have been cheaper, but goodness knows how long it would take to get that sale through. That's what I call value for money versus cheap. It might cost an extra couple of £100, but it's seriously worth it. You're spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on a property. Would you perhaps go to your local money lenders, say you bank with NatWest, this isn't about NatWest, and you love mortgage number 123A, and go, that's the one I'll have? Or do you go to your local independent mortgage advisor and say, what great deals are there out there? Do you let them research the entire mortgage market of, say, several thousand lenders? Actually, I think there's about 100 odd lenders at the moment, but there's several thousand products. They might be able to find NatWest 123A mortgage deal, but at a lower interest rate, because some of the high street lenders do actually prefer to use a broker because there's so much less work involved for them, and they can pass that saving on to you. So again, look around a little bit more. Don't always take the easy option. It's the same with estate agents, solicitors, surveyors. There's some really good local surveyors. I tend to recommend them. Trinity Rose are doing a good job at the moment. I love Robin Austin as well. There are some really good local surveyors around. Don't just stick with your mortgage company's upgrade. I think that's just what I want to say, really. Anyway, all that glitters is not gold. All that is cheap is not always the cheapest in the long run. Have a lovely day. Hope I haven't rambled too much today, and I'll speak soon.